Let's go. Is the underground. On this January 20th, 2025. And good evening. Let's get a mic check right at the gate. I see you, Western Washington, Montreal. Hulk Hogan's brother. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you, Gunther. Appreciate it to the fullest. Wayne the Pain. Mayhem. Good to see everybody. Christ is King. Yellow Dog. Geo. Deanne, E. Fitz, Gabe, all the mods. 26 in Las Vegas tonight, they say. Well, I guess that's pretty cold for Vegas. Try 9 here. Yeah. I'm absolutely freezing. If you do hear my teeth chatter throughout the stream, it's because I am freezing. I only have insulation up on all these walls, but we're managing. It's going to be 1 tomorrow night. So I tell you guys, stay warm. I mean it. Stay warm, stay safe, stay alive. Yeah, Denver in the house. Minus 22 in Minnesota. Yo, Jay. Good to see you, man. You're still alive and breathing, man. Pixie. Everybody, man. Much love. Kathy. If you guys got anything you need to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Joe Suzuki. Much love and a rest in peace to Hurricane. Their cat. Hope all is well outside of that. And we got a lot to cover here tonight. So, had to start off with the shot of the beach. Of course, that's all you can think about when you're freezing. And I got to start off with this alert because this is something that's going to affect a lot of people, and it's probably going to catch some people by surprise in some areas that we're not expecting it. They're saying that snow right now is forecasted to begin in Houston right about now and to accumulate upwards of about 4 inches by Tuesday. After the snow, frigid temperatures are expected to sweep in, and it's going to be dangerously frigid across most of the country. This could affect power lines. This could affect energy infrastructure. They're warning. If you recall, back the last time we had the big ice storm, it hit Texas and it crippled it. And that in turn affected other parts of the country. I'll never forget that year because the ice storm had hit us in our area. We were without power for a week. And it was pretty scary. Even all the gas cans, everything that I had to run the generator throughout that time, you eventually run out of gas. And then even if you can get to the gas station, if they're without power, their pumps don't work. So there's things to think about for crisis situations, and this is going to be one of them for sure. These temperatures. I mean, most of you guys in the chat letting me know what's going on. 4 inches is nothing, one John said. It's nothing maybe to you, but a place like Houston, Texas that never sees it, maybe people there have never seen it in their life. It's something. Okay, for anyone that gets caught in these storms by surprise, it can be deadly. I've seen it happen. I've done reported on it, and I for one care. I don't want to see no one die out there in these cold temps. A lot of the homeless, a lot of the veterans that are on the streets, pray for them. All my people down in Asheville, in the Carolinas, and all the places that got rocked by the hurricane, people that are sleeping in tents. Okay, so what about them? It's all over the place, man. Anyhow, they say that the power grid is performing better than ever, but if you see something happen here in the next day or so, it could be related to this. You can see right here. And this is really a system that's diving along the East Coast and down south. Like all the snow that's coming out of this isn't even reaching Tennessee, Kentucky, any places like that. It's diving below it, but those cold temperatures are going to be everywhere. So yeah, heads up there. Now, we'd witnessed the Trump pump, so to speak, and it is where all the markets have fired up. They've been running here recently, especially ever since he won, and it was announced officially. The markets have just been kind of on a high. S&P and others, and it's really all riding on the top 50 stocks that are out there. It's pretty crazy. They're warning that our entire stock market is about to get checked, and they call it valuation when it's done. To have a healthy economy, when you've got over 10,000 businesses, thousands and thousands and thousands of different businesses, you want to see kind of a widespread, I guess, holding from the people. Like if you're going to go out and you're going to buy something, you're not just buying Apple. You're buying this other company's stock too and spreading it out. But that's not how it goes here in America or anyone that can access the U.S. markets. The big names are king. Apple, Tesla, things like that. And just the top 50. And it's getting even more consolidated. If it shrinks down to somewhere around just a couple dozen that are controlling the whole top, all you got to do is take those 12 down, or a majority of them, 10 out of the 12, and the whole thing's coming down. That's the warning. And we wondered why Warren Buffett was sitting in $325 billion in cash. Well, this is one of the reasons they're saying. So Trump comes out talking about all these tariffs, and he's kind of got everyone's knees shaking. Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to hit us hard with tariffs? How are we going to respond? How's it going to affect us? Well, what he really wants is a weak dollar. For those that don't understand that, you just have to study the economics. It doesn't do them good in terms of the economy and having people hold our debt with a strong dollar, so to speak. So he wanted a weaker dollar, which would give other countries a little bit of an advantage in the situation because their currency would be stronger in a bargaining thing. This is just how they do it. Okay, so the dollar crashes, which is what they wanted. Okay, so when you hear that, it's not like the end of the world. They just wanted a weak dollar. And everything, absolutely everything, as far as I can see. And I'm going to touch on that, Paul. As far as I can tell, this is where they're going to try to keep it, a weak dollar, and he's going to start rifling off tariffs left and right. So he's signing, I think right now, he's still signing executive orders. He may be doing it till midnight. They had a live stream where he was set up in a gymnasium, and he was just sitting in there ripping them off. And they closed that down, but then he went to another room, and it was like he was signing more. Yeah, I'm going to get to the J6 all released. And a hallelujah, Lord God Almighty, answering the prayers. We'd been calling for Joe Biggs to be pardoned and set free. And I just got word here this evening that he's being processed for release. Joe Biggs will be a free man, which is fabulous. These guys were deteriorating, rotting in a cell. Their health just going down the tubes. Their mental state. And for someone that's got a family, a daughter and all that, I know Biggs he got caught up in some stuff, man. Me and Biggs didn't always get along because he ran with InfoWars and I didn't get along with AJ, but I got along with Biggs. I got along with everybody. I got along with Duke. Got along with everybody around him. Jakari at the time. A lot of people it's not there anymore, but Biggs was cool. We bumped heads a couple times in the streets. I thought we were gonna throw down in Philly one day. Just cause energy and like I call it out real, man. I keep it real. I call stuff out in real. And I've been calling them out on some stuff. And I don't know, we seen each other and we ended up talking about it in a field and hashing everything out. It was in Philly. It was raining. Ended up getting my drone up in the air. But ever since that day, anytime I'd see him somewhere, there was a bit of respect, not like we were going to bang, like on site, because that's what it was like with some of these characters. But no, they were cool. And I'll never forget, outside of another city, I forget even the event. I think it was Wisconsin. Up there when there was riots and they were burning stuff down. I was up there covering it. And all those guys were at a bar and grill. Afterwards, I stopped in there and hollered at them and got to hang out with them for a minute. Got to see them as like, humans, like one of us, like we're normal people, not someone off the TV and the screen and all that stuff. We talked about a lot of crazy stuff, but Bix got caught up in the whole Proud Boys thing. And I knew something wasn't right when Joe was dyeing his beard. Because he never cared. He never cared about that. Big old white beard, he didn't care about that. But when I seen him doing it, it was like, I knew. I was like, dude, you're working for someone, man. Like, they got you. They got you. Never before did he ever care to dye that beard, but all of a sudden he was dyeing a beard to relate to a younger generation, which is what they were trying to suck up in this whole Proud Boys thing. Honeypot. Which Enrique is tied to the feds and all that. It was a huge setup. I mean, as you could see, just like the wildlife refuge was, just like Bundy Ranch and all that crap, all the honeypots that they had set, this was the creme de la creme, so they thought. The top of it, where they trap everybody. But Trump letting people go, it's not always, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy, right? I'm not trying to see someone sit there and rot in prison unless they absolutely deserve it. If they did something and they deserve it, it's a different story. But Biggs didn't do that here. And I know he's got a daughter and a family and just that part of it. And all the other guys that got that, and, I'd like to see him be released. And we'll see no one sit in that pen for decades. Man, that's just cold and that's heartless, man. And you got a problem with it, and say something to him. Call him out. Talk to him in the flesh. That's how I see it. I'd rather be able to do that, even if we don't agree on things, than pretty much be like dead and like not around. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm gonna touch on that on another story here in a minute. Let me get to the financials. We have talk about a pump and a dump. The Trump meme coin. They're saying that it has turned Donald Trump into one of the richest men in the world as he's sworn in. And this is so crazy, man. These things are nothing. Nothing. It took Bitcoin 8 years to accumulate up to the billions that it took Trump 2 days to do. Let me tell you something. Some of you out there, and I'm one of them. I call this out. I don't want to see people get burned. Okay? But I'm going to tell you now. A bunch of people like lemmings just falling into the hole just went for this coin and they bought it. They bought it all the way up to like between $70, almost $80 high. Almost an $80 high. It's now sitting less than half that. Meaning, it got dumped. It got dumped. And it left everybody holding the bag. It left all the investors, for the most part, the thousands and thousands and thousands that helped get it up to those billions. They sold. They dumped off the top, and they're rich. And they just admitted it to you. This is how it works. And it's like, I at least see what you're getting into. Because let me tell you something. Yes, these things pump and they dump, but there's a way that you can make out big time. And I told you about it. I told you about this exact scenario. Now, I didn't tell you about Trump coin, but I told you it in terms of Bitcoin. Okay? What you do is you hawk the top. And some of you that are just getting into trading or stocks and things like that, traditionally, all you could do for most people is just go out and buy a stock. You have to sign up, get on a website, you can buy a stock, right? But that's all you could do. You used to have like $20,000 to put down to basically get a big boy pass to trade in these upper echelon levels of other stocks and to be able to short. I can't stress to you enough how important that key factor is. They deprive most of the people from doing this. Most people don't realize it. If you did realize it, you would see that there's a pattern there. And you'd see what me and some others have seen here. Some guys have already taken full advantage of it, and they're rich because they find something that's sitting at the top and they know that's about to come down, and they just short it. And you make money the entire time it falls. You can even borrow the money and 10x or 20x it, which is risky. It gets riskier the more you exit, like 20, 30 exit, 50 exit. But there's more money to be made. You can get burned the other way too. It can liquidate you if it runs the other way. But if you know this, the top's in and this thing's coming down off the top, all you got to do is short it and you ride the whole thing down. And there's a guy last night that was saying, or not last night, the night before, he said he bought in at $67. He shorted Trump coin at $67. And if it just got to $55, that was it, he would be at over $2 million, which is a good lick, good hit. That's enough for somebody to ride off into the sunset. And as I've always said, if you're trying to become a crypto millionaire, set your sights on 2 million. You get it. Once you got it, give the man $1 million, because the government's going to be wanting their piece. That's the trap. But you just plan ahead, hit to 2, give them their half, give them their freaking piece, and you still got your mill. I mean, that's just how it's going to work. If you want to try to evade it and all that other stuff, that's on you. That's the trap, though, I'm telling you. And that's why I've told everyone to not be in it, and that I'm against it, because most people just can't wrap their head around it unless you're babysitting them, trying to walk them through these things. They're going to get caught up. Trading can chop you up quick if you don't know what you're doing. Just like this, all the people that believe in Trump, all the people that believe in Melania, they did so good. They knew it with the Trump coin right out the gate. And let me tell you something. There used to be this Trump coin, the official Trump. The name was Trump. Used to exist on Cryptopia. And it was a site out of New Zealand years ago. And it was before Trump and them even seen the value in it. And now that I think about it, I think it dismantled all of them. And they overtook that Trump coin. And I mean, it's his name, but they dropped a Melania coin, tomato, however you say her name, Melania. They dropped a coin in her name. So they got a little greedy with it. They were like, yo, let's just drop one for Trump, and then let's just drop one for her too. Let's get even more money out of it. And they did. And the people were talking crap earlier, like, next it's going to be the Barron coin. Like, why not? Why would he not at this point? Why would he not capitalize on that? Why would he leave the money on the table after they just showed how easy it is off of the lemmings to just rake in billions? Because that's what he did. He just raked in billions. And I don't understand how people are happy with that. You don't feel used. Suckered. Big time. Some people won't even mention it. Let's try to sweep it under the rug, act like it never happened. Some would, wouldn't you? Let's just be real about it, man. This is a scam. You don't scam your base like this. They kept this under wraps till like last minute. We knew that they were supporting WorldCoin, and they also said that they were going down some other avenues of crypto. His sons got into this, Don Jr. and Eric, big time, and even Barron. That's why I'm telling you, I could see why. I mean, it's a why not. They are making meme coins off of cows, off of cats, off of dogs, off of anything that you can think of, and billions of dollars are pumping into it. Do you guys realize this? This is the insanity of it for people that have been ignoring it. So much money. I mean, you could change You get this country out of debt. Like, you could do so many things. Feed the homeless. Like, uh, all these good things. There's hardly any good, righteous players out there. They don't come along to help the people. They literally come along and use the people. And these people are so brainwashed. They just take it. Just take it. Just take the loss. I'm not taking no losses. I'm trying to teach you how to become a millionaire. You didn't think it was possible? Well, it's possible. You could do anything you put your mind to. Yeshua, Jesus, said that you will go on to do greater things than I. Okay, and you have to believe. I'm telling you now, I know guys that have already done it, and I know tricks of the trade. I'm telling you, the short game, especially as soon as Bitcoin hits its top and this whole thing starts coming down, it can make you rich if you really want it. If you really want to sharpen your skills and you want to get it. And that's with anything. With anything that's coming down. You could time the market to come down and short it. Any stock, same thing. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. Timing is everything. But maybe later down the road, I'll share a little bit more knowledge with you on this. I don't promote the crypto and Bitcoin and all that because I told you NSA created it. They created Bitcoin. And they track and trace everything on it. And I seen it for the trap that it is. And I had to warn everybody, don't fall for the digital trap. But I'm going to be honest, I could sit here and warn all day. When this event goes down, it's coming around the corner, and they hold everybody's money hostage. They're just going to hit your digital wallet that you can download on your app with fresh money, digital money, and this is how it begins. That's how they're going to get the CBDC, so to speak, into this country. It's just a ledger is all it is. They just want you on a digital ledger. It doesn't matter what you call it or anything. They just want to be able to track you. And we're one event away. It's going to happen on Trump's watch from it happening. Yep, and they're going to blame it on China. Okay? That's what they're going to do. They've already set the stage. Wait till I get to the end of this. You'll see where this is all going. I'm painting it crystal clear what's going to happen. I've been telling you this whole time. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but everything this comes true. Everything that we warn about. With that on point and on the money all the time. With all this stuff. Some of it's rather obvious. And I don't understand how some people can't see it. But some people choose to live blind. Turn a cheek to things. I can't stand that. Anyhow, keep on pushing here. Get through the financial. This is important. Look at this. Remember what I just said. There's a big event coming. They want everybody on the digital dollar. What does this say? This is kind of crazy. Tether, the stable coin Tether, that they threatened and all this stuff to tear it down before because they didn't think that it had its real assets backing it and all this other stuff. The U.S. Treasury of all people is saying that they will accept Tether, the stable coin. Oh, what? It's saying that they're going to use it in replication of the dollar. Because that's what it is. And this is huge. This is absolutely huge. It's just going to slide in work as the digital dollar. Because that's what it is. And there's different versions. There's a PayPal USD, there's USDC, different stable coins. But Tether itself, let me tell you, it was created by a group of shady men down in the Bahamas, along with, was it Binance or was it Bitfinex? It was one of them two places. We were on it back in 2017. We were on them, on all this stuff. And we seen what was happening, how we were creating all these coins out in the islands, offshore America. We were watching all these things with a group of lawyers. And at that time, Tether was being attacked because they were saying that they didn't think that it and other coins had true backing. Like you're trying to say that you've got like 2 billion in backing and assets. Like, let's see it. And it was a good point because a lot of these places could have nothing behind it. Apparently, the U.S. Treasury would not be messing with them. Well, now you can see when it comes to the cryptos and it comes to meme coins, they pump billions into them. Billions. A stupid coin called Melania last night pumped billions into it. Are you kidding me? Billions. Just in days, man. So if you can do that, this blows the stock market away. In the end. The money that can be generated there. If you can learn to ride the waves of these pumps and dumps, because that's all it all is. Timing. It's like throwing punches, hitting mitts. It's all about timing. And when you can catch the timing, you can get a knockout. Big time. I'm telling you. I know guys that I'm proud to say that they have already hit these licks. Okay? Thank you, Deanne. This is ominous to me, though. Why would they want Tether in there so bad? Is this going to be what they send to everybody? It says it right here. It says it right here. This catches me kind of off guard because it's like, whoa, like this could be it, like flat out right in front of your face. What else are they going to use it for? Only thing they do not speak on is the big event happening. The big event goes into motion, then yeah, they don't want no more cash. You guys know it. They've been working to take away the precious metals out of the coin supply for years now. Gold, that's the real thing. And we're going into a new phase of the bull market. Gold is not going to back down. Been telling you since 2017, this is what you want to be in. This is the real deal. It's just a slow burn uphill the whole time. It just keeps on trucking, slow and steady uphill. You look at all these charts, it just has been ever since 2017, and it's made huge gains since 2017. It and silver, all the precious metals, really. But gold leading the way, and it's gonna blow through, I believe, very soon, depending on world events and things happen with our economy and Trump and everything else. This thing crosses $5,000. Just nothing stopping it from hitting 10. And when gold starts making these tears, this is the scary part. So many people are disillusioned on how easy something can pump and take off and build money, like these cryptos that are nothing. That when gold does it, because it's not on the same sites to buy, they may miss this. And gold's the real deal. So gold has been slowly and steadily on a slow burn doing this whole time, on this rise, as crypto has got all this hype. But I'm telling you, when the crypto bubble pops and the huge bear market commences, gold's going to be on a slow burn and it's going to keep on cooking. Eventually, it's going to hit 20,000 and it's just going to be no looking back, man. Yeah, it's done nothing but return good old honest profits for anyone that I know that has got into it. And a much love to everybody out there that thanks me, that sends me emails and messages about it, and even have dropped coffees like, hey, look, I did good off the gold and the silver. Thank you. Well, much love. It feels good to know that other people out there, that people listen and make the moves and they prosper off of them. Here's one. Ohio has got a few interesting things going on. One of them is a U.S. defense contractor is going to build this brand new hyperscale weapons manufacturing facility in Ohio, Enduro Industries. So this is going to have advanced kind of technology inside of it. Some of it may end up falling underneath of classified projects and things like that. The construction of this new facility will be called Arsenal 1. So $1 billion will be dropped into the development of this. It's going to span more than 5 million square feet. At full scale, it will be located next to Rickenbacker Airport. It's going to create 4,000 jobs, so that's a plus for the area, making it the largest single job creation project in the state's history. So that'll do good for jobs there. But some interesting stuff there with them is any government contractor like DARPA or anyone else, there's no telling what they're going to be fiddling around with technology-wise at this facility, for good or bad. They could be doing some high-grade secret stuff, or they could blow something up and it'd be toxic and not be good. Saab is building a munitions plant in Michigan near the largest military base in the country. Camp Grayling National Guard. Interesting. Thank you, doctor. Wow. Okay, so, yeah. Got to keep your head on a swivel. It's begun. Here we are. We made it, right? We made it through a certain window only to go through a new door into a new time frame. Here we are. It's January 20th, Inauguration Day. Trump has been sworn in. He is the president of the United States again. And Joe Biden and Kamala are history. And everything that we went through, economically, really, a lot of people hurting. Just a lot of people glad to see him go. We know it's a left-right paradigm. Hey, much love. Thank you. The DOJ sues Walgreens here, alleging that it filled millions of illegal prescriptions. Now, I'm assuming that this is the DOJ that was under the Biden administration. Yes, because this was announced on the 17th. So I don't know how the Trump administration is going to handle this or take it over. But, look, man, I know that the government has been facilitating bringing in drugs since Bush 1. Okay? All the different operations, all the drugs coming in directly via China, whether they're coming through Mexico, the northern border, it doesn't matter. China is mass producing it. All the money is being laundered through the big banks. And one of the big banks, TD in Toronto, got busted for this. And they said that 3 or 4 of the big U.S. banks are busted and tied into it as well. Bank of America, we know, is one. They were the first one. They let it all out of the bag, but it was kind of weird when they said it. Nothing happened. No market reaction. No one geeked out. Like, I don't know, it was like a magic trick. But trust me, when they say the rest of these companies or banks were involved and they're going to be investigated and their stocks and everything start to tank and they start to lose money, this is where you got to watch out. This is where investors or people can't get their money out of banks. And it begins in that sense. But I think that this story here is kind of it's like the government putting the blame on Walgreens and all the drugstores, which I'm sure they're not innocent. But it's like throwing them under the bus, I feel, because I know who's bringing the stuff in. They're overseeing it, not Walgreens. They don't have military out there with guns and all this other stuff and black ops bringing the stuff in. Walgreens don't. No, only the government's capable of doing that. Okay? And they've been doing it forever. The fentanyl especially, and it's a weapon. And it's killed more people than anything I know in my life. It has. Fentanyl and these drugs have killed more people than anything that I know in my life. More than car wrecks, heart attacks, old age, this and that. It's that. I sat here one night thinking about it real hard because I mentioned something about fentanyl, and the number was staggering. I couldn't believe it. I started writing them down and reminiscing and thinking of all the names that I've heard. And that's just the ones that I know of. I can't tell you how often I holler at my friend Scotty, and Scotty's like, "Did you hear?" And like every time I hear those words, it's like, man, oh no, who is it? Who is it this time? And he'll tell me, it was this person or that person, this person. I'm like, what the? It's always the same story. It's not people that were looking to die. It was someone that, in whatever instance, they were chasing a buzz, whether it was a pill, and not even chasing a buzz at all times. Maybe we could take a pill for real pain, but it had fentanyl in it. It killed them. And they just all dropping like flies. People don't even know any better. Kids getting into someone's parents' prescription or something like that. Just they don't even know. Thinking that if you're not getting something straight from a pharmacy itself, like anything, any kind of medication, I wouldn't trust any of it. Any of it. They're pressing pills and all this stuff these days. It's so deadly. And this is what I've come to find out left and right. Is a lot of the soldiers. I look back at a lot of these dudes, man. A lot of a lot of tough, badass dudes, man, that I grew up with, man, that were the warrior type. It just so happens that it was a lot of them that this targeted. And they're all dead. They know what they're doing. Now that I look back on it, I can see clearly. We've been attacked and they've wiped out half my damn army. The other half's nowhere to be found. It's pathetic. So, an update on the California fires. The fire's still not contained. This continues to be a threat. With so many stories and things going on, stories like this get overridden, slid to the back burner. And of course, on Inauguration, that's going to be the big thing talked about right now with Trump getting in. It's going to consume all the headlines. It's going to take over. And stories like this, just like Asheville and all the places that got hit hard, it's going to slide to the back burner. But these wildfires continue. And they had talked about a couple today, small fires that had popped up in different areas that they hurried up and got down to, and they got them out. But it's ongoing, man. I don't like the fact that people are being taken advantage of. People are losing everything. They're getting set up. They were set up by the insurance company. They were dropped because they apparently knew that this was coming. And the people lost everything. So they have nothing. And then they go to rent somewhere and they get price gouged. Like it's the last thing that they deserve or need. And that's just heartless. That's just a whole different way of thinking than a good person. The good person that maybe had a couple homes said, you know what, I'm going to take one home and I'm going to put a few families in it. Let them all live in it till they get on their feet or something crazy, to help. Not, I got a place I can rent you, and then jack the price up on them. It's just heartless. But I suppose that's what this world is made of. Someone's watching all of it. Don't ever forget that. Someone's watching all of this. Don't you ever forget that. whole bunch of eyes are watching this. And we never did get an update yet. And it's been a busy day. On the drones from Trump. America remains in the dark over this, and I'm hoping that tomorrow I can drop an update. He comes out and he says something, does something in regards to this. Maybe he did tonight. So much going down. I haven't seen the clip of it or something, but I mean, I've scoured the stuff and been watching it all day. I didn't see anyone say anything about with Trump and the drones. Everyone going on about Melania's hat. Melania. She looked pretty gangster, didn't she? Think that was for a reason? I think it was for a reason. I think the look was for a reason. Specifically for that. Like, to give off that image. Anyhow, I'm sure there's conspiracies around that, and I don't even care. I got more important things to pertain to. So have fun with that. The drones, I'll give you an update as soon as Trumpy opens his mouth. We're waiting on it. We already know that it's this government. All right, we knew that from the moment we knew that they had FAA lights. We knew that. We knew they weren't aliens. Knew they weren't the fallen. Knew they weren't even China or anyone else. No enemy would do that. Plus, all of our military drones don't fly with lights. They fly in the dark. So, I mean, if it was that big of a threat, he would have came out and he would have said it like immediately tonight or something. But I just don't see it. I do not see it. Instead of saying anything on that, he's done all these other things, which we're going to jump into. TikTok has been restored, okay? Temporarily, at least. Let me pull up Twitter feed over here so that you can see some of the stuff here. All right, here's Trump.
The right to make a deal. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. So if I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. Like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had. So many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. To be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem.
Okay. From where I sit and how I see this, they've ushered the whole crowd, obviously, into surrounding Trump and following Trump. They stacked you up against Kamala and Joe Biden. Come on now. So it was obvious what they did. They corralled the whole crowd and got them behind Trump over here on the side. Now, one thing Trump doesn't have on his side, majority, that they've been fighting against and trying to find a way to tap into is the youth. The youth, they won't let me reach. If you look at my stats on YouTube, it's always been a goose egg, a freaking 0 for 17 and below. They won't let me reach them. It's like forbidden. It's the best thing that you could do is turn the youth over onto knowledge like this. Because the younger you are to get this thing figured out, the better off and the better chances you're going to have in this life and all of it. It's the spending an entire life trying to figure it out. If you can just soak up the knowledge from somebody else, young, you're way better off. The odds are way better. You're not going to spend all these years trying to figure it out. You could figure it out quicker. Anyhow, I know that they've been trying to reach the youth and the kids, and they've been looking for a tactic. And this was mentioned, this was brought up before. And what this has done is this has to a bunch of, as they put it, mostly left-leaning, liberal kids. Because kids, not to try to politicize this, but that's how they classify the kids. And their way of thinking is just they're kids. They're more liberal, and that's just in order to get them more conservative. But they don't even really care about Trump, or they don't like Trump because of everything they've been brainwashed in school and all this stuff. But millions and millions of kids today come running into the room to their parents or wherever, to their friends, and they would say, TikTok's back. TikTok's back. How's it back? Everyone's talking. All the kids are back on. They're being kids. They're all talking like how they let it back on. And of course, what is all the kids going to be saying? What are all the kids going to be saying? It was Trump. It was Trump. Do you see what they did? They made him the hero in the kids' eyes that otherwise did not care. You see? You see? Do you have the eyes to see? Because I can clearly. I've seen everything that they've done with him. But that was a place they've been trying to target, and they just did it. And they made him the hero of the day in all the kids' eyes. But guess what? All those kids are going to have their own Trump to come up with, and his name's Barron. And boy, oh boy. Let me, I got some stuff. I got some stuff on this feed. Trump pushes to rename, well, he said it's official now. The Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. Look at Barron. Barron is a Nephilim. Steve, good to see you, brother. He's a giant. Okay? And he towers over everybody in the freaking room. A lot of these people in the back are standing up. They're inclined on, like it steps up back there, step by step up in the back, where these people are sitting higher, all in the back. But Barron's down here on the stage, man, and he just towers over everybody, over Elon, all of them. Patty Ann, welcome to the underground. Welcome to the underground. Hold on, there's another one right there. Look at him. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude, man. I'm telling you now, I know. I can't explain, but I know when I see something special. Okay? For good or bad. This dude right here, standing, look, no one's there for whatever reason, but look, he is directly behind this President of the United States seal. I'm telling you what, they have planted the seeds. I just showed you they planted the seeds, Trump. And all these kids, they're going to come up, and Barron is going to be right around ahead of their age. He's going to be the Blair, man. He's just, it's crazy. That's I said earlier. He's a giant. And everyone was like, "You mean Nephilim?" and all this. I'm just like, man, just whatever. He's whatever you want to call it. He's huge, and there's something about him. All right, I'm gonna play this clip since I'm here. I'm gonna play some clips since I'm here. that are all important, that pertain to all of us. And this right here is one with China and how we're kind of done for here. We're set up. We're set up.
The summer of 2019, a massive transformer was seized at the Port of Houston by the U.S. federal government and the Department of Energy, put under federal escort to Sandia National Laboratory. This is during the Trump administration when we were serious about these things. Why? Why was that transformer seized? Why was it brought to Sandia?
Came from China?
Came from China. What did they find in it? Officially, we don't know. That report is still classified. But one of the Trump administration officials that worked at the National Security Council, Latham Sadler, he discussed on an interview how they had found a hardware backdoor in this transformer that would allow someone to remotely switch it off. That was 2019. May 1st, 2020, President Trump passed an executive order called Securing the Bulk Power System. President Trump declared a grid security emergency. At the time, our nonprofit was tracking the numbers of these things, these Chinese transformers. There's about 300 in the grid. That executive order was meant to address that threat. On the very first day of the Biden administration, that executive order was suspended and the floodgates were reopened to the importation of Chinese transformers. We pulled the numbers 2 weeks ago, 492.
You hear that? You hear that, guys? Are you paying attention to what's happening? They just set us up. They just set us up, and they're going to blame China. And every single one of them have told us this. Can't you see? Could you see what they've done? Right? All the transformers in this country can be shut down. All the biggest ones. Right? We're screwed. We're done. You don't need an EMP. You don't need none of that. This is it. This is it. Flip of the switch. We're done. They have a back door built in to the transformers. This is absolutely huge. This is bigger than, I don't even know what to say. This is a setup. Like, it's done. When you hear this, like, why are you not removing the transformers? Why isn't there a state of emergency to shut everything down and, like, start replacing them? Well, because China's the only one that makes them. And this is like the stupidest thing in the world. Like, are you kidding me? How come we ain't got a facility in Alabama or Texas or somewhere making these things? Like, why'd you put us in this position? Why does Biden regime undo all this and totally set us up? I got another one for you. For those of you that hang out all the time and you hear the stories that I drop, you may recall I told you something similar here in the past few months that they discovered. And it's huge. And again, the populace is sleeping on it. It's very similar. All of the big cranes that operate in our ports, that take off the shipping containers and load them, all those huge cranes that are very important, they're made in China. And they found out that, guess what? They got a modem built into them and a back door to shut them down remotely. We're screwed. This is 9/11 set up on steroids. It's across the country. What did Christopher Wray say to you the other day on his way out, laughing, basically, in our faces? That China is everywhere. They're in your telecommunications. They're in the water system. They're in the grid. They just hacked Janet Yellen for crying out loud. And everybody. They've gotten to the DOJ's wiretaps. They're freaking everywhere. Something huge is about to happen. Something huge is about to happen. And they're just going to say it was China because that's who's there. That's who they're already saying it is. My question is, why didn't you stop it? Why haven't you even attempted to do anything about it? It's like, oh, it's China. They're in everything. See you guys. That's Christopher Wray. And he's gone now. So now Kash Patel's in there today. Okay? Oh my gosh. This is a circus. Oh my gosh.
The summer of
Okay, so yeah, there's that shot of her in the hat. I'm gonna return to this here in a bit, but first I want to point this out. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, today is a lot of things. It is Inauguration Day. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is also the high satanic holiday that kicks off a week full of action. And interestingly enough, it is today. Yeah. They have all these big festivals and big things on this day, and you wonder why. Just look it up. Today is the high satanic day, and there's no other week like it. It's a full week of festivities, and it begins today. It's like the big ceremony for Satanists. Look at this. The FBI comes out and tries to post on X and say they want to honor the life and the work of Dr. Martin Luther King and all this crap. They are actually community noted. It says the FBI engaged in constant surveillance of King and attempted to discredit and blackmail him to influence him to stop organizing. King's family believes the FBI was responsible for his death. Like, you just don't see that every day. You don't see fact checks like that on Facebook or anything else. You just don't. And that's a burner right there. They think that they're going to be slick and pop off over on X, Twitter, something like that. And because of the way it's set up, he got community noted like, like, this is the real deal. You see? And boom, turning the tables on the crap. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got to share this clip out. This is hilarious. I'm just going to go ahead and show it. I'm going to talk about me. I'm coming back to this. I got to come back to this. I got to come back to this in a second. So, let me finish off the TikTok thing. It's restored for 75 days. Within the next 75 days, there's going to be talking back and forth between, I guess, China and our government. And Trump wants like a 50-50 deal. Basically, he wants us to obtain 50% control. And it's like, okay, us and who? And he's like, the people that own it. It's like, hold on, China? Come on. I mean, because that's what this is. And let me make something very clear to all of you out there. Okay? Dude, we've been set up. Our government is in bed with China. It's very clear. They're butted right up next to our bases. Ain't nobody doing nothing about it. They're about to do a takeover in this country. They got a 1,000,000-man army here hiding, and I would wake up and I'd get ready to fight. They'll probably do it when the lights are out, or they pull the plug, or this big event goes down. They're not here for nothing. And what I'm going to show you here in just a minute is highly disturbing. Highly disturbing. Okay? They don't believe in what we believe in. They don't think like us. They don't. Dude, man, this is a China that will murder its own people. It's proven it. It took the guns away and put them in ditches. They will not hesitate. Soldiers that are trained to do the same to you. This is set up, and this is how it's going to go down. I'm telling you. They're talking about getting all these migrants. Not one time has Trump said, "Oh, we got to get all the Chinese out of here. They're right up next to our bases. Oh, we got a national emergency because of it." Nope, not a word. Instead, he wants to partner with China and share TikTok with China. So now you don't have to worry about just your government. It's also the Chinese government. And here's the biggest kicker of the whole thing. Any single person that has downloaded this app, you're done. Chinese got you. Guess what? Didn't matter if we take over half control, just so everybody can have it. You're done. You downloaded a Chinese app. Dude, they're sending transistors over here, cranes, all this. They got backdoors in them. You don't think they got to backdoor that? You don't think that they're not using it as a weapon? Get the fuck, oh my God. Dude, this is set up. And it's being facilitated now by Trump, which is even scarier. They're walking you right into this. They want you to split an app between your government and the Chinese government can both spy on you. Okay? But the Chinese created it. Okay? You downloaded it. Anyone out there that's got it, you downloaded Chinese malware onto your phone. And I told you as much this whole time. That's why you'll find me on TikTok, but it ain't me. At this point, it's like, everyone's like, why don't you just get on TikTok? I'm like, why? Everybody just rips off my work anyway, clips it and posts it over there and puts it in crazy videos. That's how I find it all the time. It's, I don't know. I don't know. Part of you says, look, any outlet I'll try to utilize to reach the people. But then I have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. My line in the sand was not letting the freaking Chinese easily track me down to kill me when they're in this country. Oh, you got troops in here. Well, I want you to find this person. I want you to, what's his name? What's his account? Is he on TikTok? Yep. All right, we got him. We'll find him. That's it. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. And you're dead. It's the truth. That's the truth. That's how easy it is. Right now. People done been sold out down the river. By the time they get this whole thing figured out, it'll be too late. Most of them won't. They're going to die in this madness. We got a huge event coming. Like the grandiose 9/11's coming. It's happening on Trump's watch. We're on the clock now. We're on the clock. Flip over the hourglass. A fresh one. Now it really is on to this big event. Oh, yeah, and one more thing here about TikTok. These kids get so pissed off. A teenager out of Wisconsin set the congressman's office on fire over this ban. Yeah, so. People saying no Temu. Well, Temu's just another one. They got you. They got multiple routes. Man. I could sit here and talk till I'm blue in the face in circles every day for 12 hours. It's still... people are going to be people by the millions out there. There's nothing more I guess we can do but prepare ourselves. Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's pull him up here. He was set to be a key player with Elon that was a part of DOGE. And DOGE is this company, this group put together to fix all the finances in Congress and in the government and to gut it and to do all these things. Well, you got to know that they're watching everything and like they're gauging everything, right? Trying to get a feel for what the people think and all that. Well, what's happened in the past couple weeks? Ramaswamy's been exposed. He's been exposed for supporting mRNA, being invested in all the stocks and getting rich off of it, just like all the rest of the other crooks. Well, even J.D. Vance is in on there. But if you're Trump, you'll stick your head in the sand and act like you didn't hear that, right? It's pathetic. Anyhow, the snake, the sly, slick-speaking Ramaswamy, they're saying that he's worn out his welcome all of a sudden and that they don't need him. They're going to slide him out of there. Why is that? Because in social media in the past couple weeks, he's been getting called out. That's why. His little, whatever picture that they painted, it fell apart. It started to come unraveled. And the true stuff about him started to be exposed. And a lot of people just go over on X and look. A lot of people see it for what it is. And everyone calling him the snake and all that. It's took on a life of its own. So they like politely told him, look, you need to like step out. So instead of it making it look bad, they've opened up an opportunity for him to run as the governor of Ohio. That's right, Ohio, watch out. Yeah, so he's exiting. And the cover is that he's going to try to run as Ohio's governor. It's musical chairs with these guys. So they figured, all right, we're not going to deal with you anymore on the national stage in the spotlight. They got you figured out. We're just going to shuffle you over here, and you can just deal with the Ohioans instead of everybody. And so that seems like that's what they're going to do. So it's just going to be Elon now. Do you see how that works? It was him and Elon. Well, now he's cut out, and Elon consolidates all the power. It's just Elon's baby now. DOGE, which has all been brought about. It's shilling a cryptocurrency. That's where the freaking name came from. Which is a stupid meme coin of a dog. DOGE. That's it. That's all it is. It's all it is. We're living through some of the craziest times, man. On so many different levels. All right, so Musk, remember, he just took over the whole thing on his own. He's the world's richest man. There was clips of him today rolling his eyes around in his head like he was on something. And people were like, oh, he's high and this and that. And I was thinking, nah, I don't think it's high. I think that's just a demon in him. You see? That's my take. You're just seeing the demon bleed through. That's what you were saying. Could have been drugged. I don't know. Who knows? If he's only a drug, she's got to think he's on the most exotic, synthetic drugs the world's ever seen. World's richest man. Okay, so he's gonna make his own Mar-a-Lago, and he's gonna do so in DC. He's gonna turn this hotel into a private social club. So it's gonna be like his own headquarters and own like Mar-a-Lago, like compound, kind of like what Trump does. Yeah, so we'll see what comes of that. All right, let's jump into the pardons here. We've got Joe Biden pardoning multiple family members in what many are saying is a shocking abuse of power. So, Trump's coming in today. Biden's on his way out. Biden literally had like 15 minutes left. And he pardons multiple family members after saying he would not do it because he believes in the rule of law and blah, blah, blah. So he goes and he pardons James Biden, Sarah Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis Biden. All members of what people would call the Biden crime family. A lot of people were quick to notice that this is kind of odd. And they said it implies that like they're guilty of something. Yeah, it sure does. And they are. Full well. And we've known it. We've known it this whole time. So he just pardoned them where they can never get in trouble. It's just yeah, they want to say a shocking abuse of power. Now, if you look back at the numbers, outside of Harry S. Truman, long time ago, in all of my lifetime, There's two presidents that overwhelmingly have signed more pardons than anyone. And their names are Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Those two alone have pardoned more people, and covered more of their criminals and their criminal acts than anyone. Let's just put it that way. You're not talking like pardon someone that's in jail or something like that. No, they're directly dealing with family members, close people to them, in part of their mob type of atmosphere that they operate under. He also goes out and pardons Fauci, Schiff, Cheney, Milley, all along with this. And this raises a lot of questions. I mean, it's constantly something. It's constantly something here. Scrolling down through here real quick. Donald Trump was whining and dining with Bill Gates just the other day. And Steven, thank you for the coffees. God bless. Thank you. It's all appreciated to the fullest. Let me turn it down. I go over to my X feed and I look and I see Robert Kennedy sitting there, just pitching a spiel. I see right through all of it. He's over there like Maha and saying all this stuff and saying that we got to make America, healthy again, and blah blah blah, and that it's Gates and Fauci, Gates and Fauci, Gates and Fauci, Gates and Fauci. It's what he's been saying the whole time. He's still saying Gates and Fauci. Well, what about Gates and Fauci? Huh? Fauci just got a pardon, and your boy Bill Gates is having dinner with your boss. What about that, RFK Jr.? You gonna call him out? Oh no, you're gonna go up there and you're gonna sit down and have some McDonald's with him too. It's ridiculous. It's all a show. It's a puppet show. Got him over here, RFK preaching to the small-minded lemmings that just can't see, I guess, or pay attention to the fact that no, instead of being in jail, rounded up and put in prison, Gates was actually at Mar-a-Lago with Trump, talking about promoting more jabs. What do you guys got to say about that? He should be getting called out about this. And this is how it's going to run from here. We're calling everything out every step of the way. And I told you this is how it's going to go down. Either they're going to do what they said they were going to do, or they're going to get called out front and center on all of it. So I'm already seeing this wish-washy back and forth. I'm just seeing through the front. I'm seeing through it all. You expect me? Look, there's no excuse when you've got Bill Gates at your place. Like, dude should be in jail, period. Just like Hillary and all the rest. But dude, this is a show. They're never going to go to jail at this rate. Do you understand? Do you understand? How? Wake up. You played like a fiddle. All these people just dumbass zombies out here believing in some pipe dream or something. They're about to get wrecked. They're about to get steamrolled by a train coming through. You watch what's about to happen. Everybody's just going to get blindsided by it. They're all lost in this illusion. It's pathetic. All these criminals should be going to jail and they're getting pardoned and they're dining with incoming Mr. Warp Speed. You don't like it? Get out of here. And don't come back. I don't pander to nobody. I ain't here to make friends. I drop truth bombs. We go to war till they kill me. You see, you stumbled upon this page. We don't play either side. We're showing you it's a left-right paradigm. And if you can't handle that, when you just ain't ready for the truth. You thought you were. You thought you were. Hmm? Look at this. What's Biden doing? R.I.P. Ashley Babbitt. You want to talk about people that were really killed and murdered on J6? Her. By this man. And guess what? He gets a pardon. Michael Byrd, who murdered this woman right here, gets pardoned. Getting pardoned on it. This is one that should be flipped and reversed. And look, it seems that Trump and them, they work like if you get enough voice behind something and bring it to them, especially to one of their shows, and they could take it to them, and like you get loud enough on social media and all this stuff about something, like you start barking and you hashtag it, and you're like, arrest Michael Byrd, and you make it a big thing, just like you did J6. Yeah, this dude will go down. But if people just ignore it, don't say nothing, this and that, he'll get away with it. And for the longest time, they wouldn't even show his picture. They wouldn't say his name, all that. They were keeping it secret until it finally came out. So this is him. He needs to go to jail for murder. That's what we need to see right there. So write that one down. Sticky note. Somebody sent it to Trump. Piece of work. Senator Rand Paul playing the game too. Look, I've been doing this a long time. I give these cats the credit where it's due. Every single one of these damn politicians a rat. Every single one of them's a snake. Ain't a damn one of them got the kahunas to do what really needs to be done. Because they don't have the power. They just don't have it. They could collectively try to do something. All come together and do something. But they're all scared. Just like everyone and everything. Everyone's too scared to do anything. So, we're in this compromised position. And, Senator Rand Paul, he's always the one out there playing the card. And he's my senator here in Kentucky. And I've given him props on a million different things. But I'm sick of the crap. Like I just told you, Gates is down here dining with Trump. And this net, Fauci's getting pardoned. He's saying he's going to continue to investigate Tony Fauci. But I'm going to tell you now, it's a dead end. He's pardoned. He's done. He can say whatever. He's pardoned, and they'll bring that up, and they'll cover him on anything for the rest of his days. He ain't no spring chicken. So I don't buy it. We're asking the real questions, the hardball questions that he won't and others won't. They sugarcoat it, beat around the bush, this and that. Well, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of them. Not a damn one of them represent us real deal. Or they'd be saying out loud all over the place what I was just saying to you. Like, what is Donald Trump doing with Bill Gates down in Mar-a-Lago? Why did he not have him arrested? These are things he should be saying, but he's not. Just shut up and he sits down. He gets over here and chirps to make it look like he's going to do something. But I've been doing this a long time. This ain't my first rodeo. Been around the block 1,000 times. So you ain't fooling this one. Sick of it all. Be honest with you. This puppet show. Stupid elections. Every 4 years, man, they come too quick anymore. It's like you can't get a break from this political crap. Right, Joe. He says justice will be served in the afterlife. That's where I put all my hope and my faith, my prayers. Yeah, the judgment day, that all souls will be judged, and they'll get it then. That'd be good. I put in all this work to have front row seat for that. Oh yeah. Trust me, I'm crystal clear on what I'm in here for. I'm earning my way out of here to never come back here and into a better place with better souls in new bodies for 1,000 years. And can enjoy life, exploring a place and living and do it the good way instead of in this demonic, evil place. Because it's majority what it is at this point. You got to remember that all the souls screaming up to God, not wanting to come back into this place, is one of the reasons they flooded the place out. They did not want to incarnate into this realm because it was so nasty. Nephilim and giants were eating humans and all this other. It was bad. If you don't know. So I feel like we're there again. Like at the point where we're like right there. As in the days of Noah. So Trump issues a fiery response to all this stuff. Of course, he's popping off saying something. I guess it's all about what you're doing with your pardon power, right? Are you really using it righteously or not? Well, this brings me to J6. And this is a huge win for all the political hostages, so to speak, and political prisoners, man. Because that's what they are. If I've ever seen anything like it in my life where people have been, honeypotted and set up and it's all political crap, it was this. This took the cake. As I said earlier, Joe Biggs getting freed. They're processing him tonight. He may be free already. I'm sure as soon as he gets a chance, you'll see him pop up on X or on Twitter. If you see him and you follow him, let him know Dabu7 sent you. I want him to know that while he was in prison, we were supporting him. Whatever, we were showing him love. Don't want to see him in there, and we sent the prayers out, and they've been answered actually, and he's a free man. So I just want him to know that. We were, praying for him to get out. So at first they were saying J.D. Vance was like, "Well, we're gonna let out J6 hostages, but not the violent ones." And other people were like, "What do you mean about violent ones? This and that." There was they were using it as an excuse to hold on to some of them. But here, Trump has pardoned 1,500 of these individuals. And I would say that anyone that was scared all this time, and trust me, I know people that went to this event that didn't go in and cause madness, didn't go, I don't even know, in the buildings, some of them. They just were there when this all went down on J6, and they've lived in fear this whole time that they're gonna get a visit. I know some cats did get visits, and are punk. Just there's some shady people out there. I'll just say it. There used to be cats that were around me right here on my show all the time. One of the main ones. It hasn't been around in a year or so, never will again, because he went cold on us. He went dark. He ghosted. And why is that? Because he got by the man. Why? Because he was at J6. And he didn't have the kahunas to tell us. We had to find out otherwise. So this has been a huge setup and honeypot and taking people down and exposing people in their true colors and all this other stuff. It's been a mess. But it's one thing to get a visit, but your friends and your family and your truest people, you don't say a word to and this and that, that's shady as just get away from me. Just get away from me. I've told you every single time the feds have come knocking on my door, and every single instance that I've had to deal with them, mostly with a drone. And I'm not stupid. If someone's not talking about something after the feds come and visit you, that means you're hiding something, and that's not good. I'm not stupid, dude. Freaking pathetic. You put all this time into people. It's the biggest disappointment has been people to me. In all of this that I do, all of putting my ass and my neck on the line so many times, so many different situations, cities, all this, all the time. to fight the fight, to get to do the damn thing, to get the news, to get the video, to do what it takes, only to see other people buckle easy or sell out or just straight up be there plotting on you or just using you. So many people just use me for me. Sick of it. So many fakes out there, man. It's just this whole realm you call social media and truth. Like all these goons. I ran the streets with all of them, from AJ to Joe Biggs to Luke Radowski's to Tim Pools, all of them. I know them for who they really are. It's disgusting. There ain't no true righteous cats out here. There's like very, very little to none. It's pathetic. And all this Trump movement did was suck up all of our patriots and basically chop their, what off, and have them sit there and do nothing. Yep. It took all of our militias and evaporated them, is what it did. It's black magic. It's black occult magic. And them all fall under a spell, under the Gentile Messiah. And there's no formation. There's no meeting on the weekends. There was not even no freaking patriots to go down to our border. You haven't even seen none. Nothing. Nothing. Back before 2016 and all that, in that era, before Trump came into the picture, there were militias. They were all over the place. They were in every state. They were flexing too. And some people are going to say, oh, there's a militia in my state, this and that. Okay, where are they at? What are they doing? And that's my point. Like, they ain't making no headlines. They ain't doing nothing huge. Right? We need our standing army, our militia, to flex. And they should have been in there protecting the border and doing all that, but they didn't. They were all spending their time going to a Trump rally, which occupied their days off and any free time they had outside of work in this slave society. Do you see how that works? You see how that works? It's what they did, and they fell into the trap. It's real easy when you pit it up against a Kamala and a Biden. It's like an easy no-brainer. They'll say, oh, we got to go here. And they just fall into it. That's what everybody did. And then a small-minded bit, well, what were you going to do, Top? Vote for Kamala and Joe? Like, just get up. The stupid, small-minded people like that, just stay away from me. Like, you can't comprehend where we're at then. You're played. You're living in like a movie. They're all actors. All the politicians are the best of the best when it comes to actors. I mean, just look. They come from Hollywood. It's where you go when you graduate from Hollywood into politics, so you can put your acting skills on display for the whole world. And it's what it is. You're fooling everyone. That's all any of it is. They're masters at it. That's why Trump has also worked so well, because he had it embedded in him. I mean, he is the chosen one for what he's doing. Don't get it twisted. Monica says, hang in there. We're blessed. We'll never sell out. Yeah. I believe in Jesus. I believe in Yeshua. I don't believe in any man out here that's here right now is the Messiah. I don't think Trump is the Messiah, as some do. Some put him in front of Christ, and it's sick. Put my hope and faith in him than the Messiah, and it's sick. And now I can really see, I tell you what, when that rabbi, the Jewish rabbi, came out and he said that Trump is our Gentile Messiah, he just flat out said it. He said that their Messiah will wait for Trump to hand over the United States to Israel in unison, in like this big thing. I played it right here. Trump is the chosen one. It's clear. I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but he's making these peace deals. You see that they are making events come true. False pieces. Okay? Wait till I get to that here in just a minute, man.
First, we have a list of
First off, this is Trump signing off some EOs.
On January 6, 2021.
Okay. And how many people are this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research.
Okay.
Nice to see you again.
And you, sir.
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight. Frankly, we're expecting it.
Thank you, W. Good comment.
Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Yeah, 1,500 people, 6 commutations. I told you here earlier, Joe Biggs getting set free. Hallelujah, and good for all of them. I don't want to see no one rotting in the cell. It was a scare tactic. It's what it was, large scale, here in the 5th or 6th, right? Yeah. Crown, much love, my brother, man. I hope all is good. I think about you all the time, man. I don't know. I just do. Look at this. This is rather interesting. This shows me, this tells me that there was a plot here. Look, Schumer met secretly and went out of their way to meet up secretly with Joe Biden, urging him to drop out of the 2024 race within the hour before the Butler assassination attempt against Trump. So you're telling me that within the hour that this event goes down, Schumer is over here telling him to drop out? See, these are the little things right here when I catch them, when I catch these little things, it's like, Yes, man cave. I did talk about the Trump coin and the Melania toward the beginning and the pump and dumps and all that. Yes, I already tore into that. Sure did. So I thought that was an interesting piece of information there. And when it comes to like the leftists and the protesters in the streets, it seems that this time there was only a tiny faction that was out there. That they're just a slice of the size that they were in 2016 is what they're saying. Just small groups, nothing major. And I want to mention that BLM has been dismantled in the mix of all this. All the funding, all the major players and leaders basically blew all their funding, and they dismantled it. George Soros and company and all of them said that they weren't investing any more money into it. And then you saw the Free Palestine movement basically spring to life that they were supporting. So they went that direction. Basically no more. Yeah, much love, Man Cave. I mean, wow. I mean, that's the action. I mean, I've got the inauguration from 2016, 2017, whatever, here on this channel. All you got to do is just type in inauguration and you'll see it where I set up. And there were biker gangs that were there. They were clashing against the BLM. There was huge crowds. It was a different animal, man. None of that this time. No BLM, no biker gangs, no nothing. Like total different setup. Way smaller, like youth crowds. Just kind of with their pussy cat hats on or whatever the hell they got going here. Yeah. So I mean, that's been kind of wiped out. Not to say that Antifa isn't out there somewhere in smaller pockets, but they surely didn't show up like 2016. Like, I've got footage of us on the front lines down there during the inauguration. This year they called it some kind of ball. They gave it some kind of fabulous name for the ball that's happening tonight. But back then it was called the deplorable, because Hillary had called all of them deplorables. And we were outside of this deplorable event. And you've seen all these characters that you see all the time in the headlines, like going in and out of there. And there's this big blow up doll outside. It was nuts. A dude got beat down. I got it all on film. It's chaos. It was absolute chaos. It was chaotic. And Deanne, thank you for the coffees. Christ is King. That's right. Much love. Just saying, like, those are some times, and I've got them documented, and limos on fire, windows getting busted out block by block. It was intense stuff, and like, it doesn't exist now, at least at the moment. It's just weird. Just weird. That's why I got up off my tail and I hit the streets with Ferguson years ago to see what was really going on. That's where I first seen Luke and Tim Pool and all that. And it's where I got to know who was who and what was what. All these characters. And then it was off to Baltimore after that, and then Cleveland, and all over the country, all these different events. And most of the time, you know, BLM was on the other side. There was some kind of friction. Feds on rooftops. All that. It's like, all that's been dismantled. Anyhow, most Democrats think that their party sucks. This is per a CNN poll. And that's pretty crazy to say, because, well, they say that people are burned out. They feel burned out on it. And I mean, I feel them on the burned out in politics thing. Like I told you before, I wish that elections came not every 4 years. It's just like this, you never get out of the political cycle, it seems. But yeah, I thought that was kind of humorous. So Trump and Melania watching the fireworks, apparently. Virginia. That was them showing up right there. And for all the people that were there trying to get into this event, some people got scammed. Scammers allegedly selling fake tickets. I mean, this is just like outside of any big event. You've got scalpers, you've got people hustling tickets, and there's fakes that are floating around. But long waits, security hurdles, all that. And this would have been, I don't know, this was different. They switched it up and they moved it indoors because everything was so cold for the swearing in, versus outdoors like it was when I was there. And Obama was outdoors. Those that I can remember. So Trump, going indoors, better protected for sure. But just to get in here, you had to have these tickets. You had to have passes. Even if you have tickets, certain areas you have to have passes to get into, and all this stuff. You have to apply for press passes. We had to go through all that. And see, that's stuff I had to do all the time. Before we went to a major event, especially like the RNC and all that, we had to fill out all the stuff and send off to it in advance to try to get these credentials. And even when you have them around your neck, they can still look at you and be like, eh. and just tell you no. And like you could sit there and say whatever and argue all day long, and they're just gonna, if it's a no, it's a no, and it's screwed up. Even if you're legit, it's weird. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in DC, but it's DC. Instrumental, thank you. Yeah, damn. All right, Instrumental, you've been around a minute. Back then, you saw me on Ustream in Ferguson and the pepper spray. That's right. I've had quite a few different pepper spray events while I've been live too, where they've hit us. Happened in Baltimore, DC, Ferguson, and back then we were on Ustream. Man, I forgot about Ustream. Man, time's a flying. So Trump says that he was saved by God to make America great again. And when he does this, you can see almost everybody around's clapping, except for one little small group, which is the Clintons and Bidens and all them.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then and believe even more so now that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
Yeah, everybody else stands and claps, and they sit there. A lot of people say that it shows, no class and all this, but I'm telling you, it's just an act. Bay Area, much love. Thank you for the super chat. All the support is appreciated to the fullest, y'all. Next one here. They're bitching because protesters brought a guillotine to threaten Trump. And thank you, Parker. Thank you for the super chat. Freedom of expression. Yeah, you might not agree with it, but it's not the first time. Matter of fact, I've seen it used in all different type of events. I've seen a lot of different stuff used in events. But this makes a bold statement, of the guillotine all the time. I seen it the other way, tables turned, where the Patriots. The last time I was at a gathering where a lot of Patriots actually gathered was in Virginia. 3-4 years ago, huge gun rally. We went there to support them. Thinking man cave. We went there to support them in Virginia. And they had one of these. The Patriots rolled out a guillotine and put it out there as a statement. And I thought that was pretty crazy at the time. I was like, damn, they just rolled this out. And yes, man cave, doing God's work best I can. Just trying to spread the truth, wake people up. I made a song called The Guillotine. Gotta sit into the guillotine. Yeah, and the video is just blade chopping. It makes a strong statement. But this time, I don't think that it was felt like that. It was just more of a, the whole showing of counter Trump was weak. So, I mean, you got to show up with people first and foremost. It just wasn't there. Not a lot of opposition. You got to remember the Republicans here taking House and Senate. I mean, Trump taking over everything. It's a full power move here that they've never seen anything like it. They're saying the consolidated power now that this gives Trump to do all these things. And remember, we're now under a national emergency. I'm going to start to tear through some of that here in just a second. but we're under several different national emergencies. I mean, it's like, how many can you freaking stack on? But there's the giant Barron Trump going over and shaking hands with Biden. And he's a giant, but just wanted to show this. Yeah, all those people are standing, not sitting down. And he towers above them all. I swear the kid is so huge. This is crazy. So here we are. A national emergency has been declared. In this instance, this is over energy. Okay? So he can ramp up domestic crude oil and natural gas production and reduce power bills for Americans. That's how he's pitching it to the people. It's going to reduce the cost for the people, but there's some things that just have to be done. Biden screwed a lot of this up, man. He sold a lot of our reserves, and he should have never done it. He set us up. So I showed you earlier, he's just signing all these EOs and go through some of them. Thank you, Ava, for the coffee and the support. Appreciate it to the fullest. So, go down here.
Should the Trump administration separate families to execute its mass deportation plan?
Well, if the families are part of the problem, and I surmise in Montana, well, what's going to happen is we'll empower the sheriffs. And Montana's a little different than most. Montana's had a long history of rounding things up. The sheriffs are going to round up. They know who's naughty and who's nice. The sheriffs are out there. They know they're not after the dishwasher. They're after people in the community that are doing harm. Now, the question is, when you round them up, where do they go? So you're going to have to have a deportation in Montana, probably a mobile deportation. But this is a very complicated, and you point out there's a lot of one-off, two-off, in this case, probably hundreds of thousands of off, of what are you going to do with families? What are you going to do with kids? What are you going to do with unknowns? Where are you going to put them? Where are you going to feed them? Where are you going to house them? Where, medical, there's a lot of questions out there, and it's going to be expensive.
So he signed executive orders on DEI, on those policies. Also, they have declared, they have designated the drug cartels as global terrorists, so that you know. This means that they can use the military to go after them right now, any moment, like starting tomorrow. Matter of fact, this is when this all begins. The plan was a bit leaked, and it may shift up a little bit, but they have labeled these cartels as terrorist organizations. Also, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, they're labeled as foreign terrorist organizations. It would make it illegal for anyone to give aid to them or to collaborate with those groups. So they're being labeled terrorists straight up right out the gate.
We're going to also slash something else, the waste in our bloated federal bureaucracy. We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency, headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk, who's here someplace. I don't know where the hell he is. He's here someplace.
And I told you it'd be Elon overseeing that, as they pretty much cut Ramaswamy out of the picture. And thank you, Jeff, for the PayPal. Appreciate it to the fullest. So I told you Biden sold all of our reserves. Well, he depleted our strategic reserves, which is like our emergency reserves. Like, say you're in the winter right now, and it's a really bad one, and we need gas supplies to keep everyone heated and safe and all that good stuff, or the grid going. He sold it. That's criminal. He drained it. He did several of them. He drained all of our reserves, and he did it on purpose, just like they just did everything on purpose. They set us up. With China, they've set us up through and through. So this is gone. We don't have one. It has to be filled back up, and that's what Trump's saying he's going to do. So during this emergency, he's trying to make huge moves. He also said that we're going to go and we're going to take back Panama, that China's operating it there and that they shouldn't be. We need control of it. And then Panama fired back and said that they don't think so, similar to what Greenland did. But we'll see what happens here, man. They're making huge moves, and I've done warned you about the whole North American Union thing with Canada and Mexico. They're already talking about it and telegraphing all the stuff. Trump's also vowing to revoke the security clearance for 51 former Intel officials who peddled the Hunter Biden laptop disinfo hoax. So anybody that was in that, pushing that whole thing against him, he is going after. You hear all these people saying, oh, Trump gets in there, he's going to come after and do this. Some of them are just like, it's ridiculous. Like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Like, give me a break. But those that persecuted him, they're going to feel his wrath here. So these officials from, the leaning side that did this. And you got guys like right here, the self-important loser, Stephen Colbert, saying that he thinks Trump's going to pull him off air. Still spewing all this crap. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like, I wouldn't stand for that. I don't care for this dude. Can't stand him, really. Because he's just a mouthpiece for the establishment. We know this. But if Trump was to silence him and just take him out for whatever, you can't have that. That's Gestapo. He could do that to anyone. Anyone that doesn't agree with him. That's what you got to be careful of. And, I, for one, if the enemy or someone wants to talk crap, I know how to use discernment. I'd rather hear what they got to say and hear what's going on, hear what they're plotting, just all of it. So I can put my own discernment on it. But if it's not there to be seen or heard, then I don't never know that. I'm in the dark on how they feel, what they're thinking, what they're plotting, all that. So, it was Bill Gates was interviewed by this man right here 5 years ago. And he started the whole interview out like, so, say something happens in the next 5 years, which put it to 2025. What do you think happened? And that, they did it multiple times. It telegraphed to me that something huge was going to happen by this year. And you can't be in the mind frame of thinking that, oh, Trump got in there, so it won't happen. Like garbage. The last one happened on his watch, and people seem to forget it. That's why we call him Mr. Warp Speed. It all began on his watch. And the next one will too, I feel. It's more than likely going to be with the bird flu. Unfortunately. It's already there. To see how they handle it, though, this time, I don't know, something that's really deadly is different than COVID. It's really deadly. And when you have bodies stacked up, it changes the whole game. Everything changes. It doesn't matter if it's soldiers, everyday people. When you start to see American citizens' bodies stacked up all over the place, it's different. It affects you differently. And it's going to be a shock. It's going to be a shock. At some point, they're going to go after those Deagle numbers, man. I'm telling you. Trump says that he's going to declassify JFK, RFK, and the MLK files. Now, I want you to remember, he said he was going to do this with JFK last time and came out and just put out some heavily redacted stuff, only uncovered a little bit of stuff and nothing major. This is how people seen it. And he's like repeating it. It's like, are you going to do the same thing or actually bring the goods this time?
As a first step toward restoring transparency and accountability to government, we will also reverse the overclassification of government documents, and in the coming days, we are going to make public remaining records relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert Kennedy, as well as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and other topics of great public interest.
Well, let's see if that happens. And thank you, Crystal, for the coffees. That's huge. Huge support. I appreciate that to the fullest. But you just heard what he said. He's going to declassify and drop this. Are they actually finally going to do it? Are they going to finally say that it was your CIA? What do they do? Just get it over with, get it out of the way, admit it, and then go in and shut down, dismantle the CIA, but there's still, I don't know, it's a different agency that pops up just under a different name, a new one. I mean, they can just make these things up out of thin air and give them any name they want to, like DOGE. I mean, give me a break. They're just switching things up as they go here. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. And oh my gosh. Barack Obama showed up. And he did so without Michelle here. Let me tell you, man. People have been saying that they're going to get divorced and all this stuff. And there's different rumors swirling around. But let me play this clip. Somebody made a meme clip out of this right here. This was I mean, this stuff is getting scary real. With the AI and the it's a man's body there, okay? It's just nuts. Yeah. Man, that was just crazy. This one's crazy. Epstein's cellmate, the guy that was first accused of potentially killing him, former cop turned convicted killer. He was said to be the one, because Epstein said that he did. Epstein said the dude tried to kill him in the cell. This is before anything happened to Epstein. Epstein said this. Said the dude tried to do something to him. If you go back and you remember. And many said that this dude very well probably did it. And then, you know, as the story goes, they try to say Epstein killed himself when, you know, all this and that. Well, now this dude's trying to say that the feds offered a plea deal in exchange for framing Trump. So this guy's trying to say, this guy down here, right here, this guy's trying to say the feds came to Epstein and was like, look, we'll cut you loose, we'll cut you a deal if you've got any goods on Trump. And he didn't. They said he didn't have anything on Trump. I don't buy it. This is all a circus and a show to me. Here's Christopher Wray again. The former FBI director, as of today, says that China is the defining threat of our generation. Oh, funny. I thought it was white men. Right-leaning white men and stuff like that. You were afraid that was the threat. White supremacy. That's all you guys have been saying this whole freaking time. Now on your way out the door, all of a sudden, China's infiltrated everything, and they're the defining threat of a generation. But you've showed us you did nothing to stop them, to counter them, to kick them out, to do nothing. This man should go to jail for treason. Christopher Wray should. They should be on him. He should. I mean, that's when I'll start to believe that there's some kind of justice in the system. When you start to see some guys like this get taken down. Instead of seeing them like Bill Gates dining with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, dude, it's all show. I've said it a million times. Remember, last time, Hillary for prison, yet she was sitting right behind him, smiling the day at the inauguration. Sure was, right there. She was singing along with Carrie Underwood when she was singing that song or whatever and everything else. Like, get out of here. Like, Hillary was supposed to have been in prison years ago. It was a front, a fraud. Those are all untouchables, man. You understand? Especially anyone that comes from the bloodline that can serve to be president. And we knew, I had a vision that showed me that Trump was going to win and this whole economic crap was going to happen and all that. So that's why I said what I said, and I leaned that way. And I knew that he was going to override Kamala. But the other sure sign that he was going to override Kamala was that Trump is of the bloodline, and Kamala is not. And we knew that looking into her parents, so it made it rather obvious that she wasn't going to be the next president. Bay Area believer, much love, and I've said that multiple times here on record. China is the threat. They are here, they are embedded. Millions and millions of these guys that do not care about you, your way of thinking, your way of life, none of it. Trained to kill. There's 1 million or more here. I know it for sure. And it's the Trojan horse, man. Out of all these people that came in, all this stuff, these are the ones that will militarily, 1 million-man army, systematically cause the most destruction. To the grid, to the water, to everything. They will shut down everything. That's the event. Can't you see? Can't you see? How can this man, Christopher Wray, walking out, not be complicit and saying all this and then saying they've done nothing to stop it? It's a setup. It is a setup. So when the lights go out here very soon, or you can't get your money out of your bank, or the water's been attacked, or all the cell phones are down, and this event goes into motion, and they're like, China, China, China. No, no, no. Yes, China's probably going to be there playing it out, but we're sold out. It's only happening because someone allowed it to happen. And that's treason at the highest level. But you're going to have to get to 1 million Chinese before you even get to them once this starts. Oh, not to mention the Trendayawaras and the gangs coming across the border and the cartels and the war. Chaos is about to begin. Large-scale deportations are supposed to begin tomorrow. 50 minutes? It's 11:11. Much love, guys. This information got leaked that Chicago, New York, and at first there was a third city. I can't remember what it was. That they were targeted for these initial strikes. Meaning these are huge teams that are going in raiding different places. This is going to be huge. Well, since it got out of the bag, Homan said they may pause it. Or, see, the whole thing was trying to come in and catch people off guard. They didn't want it to get really out of the bag. But other people seeing it differently. They were like, no, you need to alert everyday people, normal people, that this is about to go down. They don't want to do that. They want to use the element of surprise to their advantage. If they can just roll in to a city without no one knowing, which is what they're about to do, any sanctuary city, there's over 250 of them, they could be heading to starting tomorrow. Anywhere. They could be rolling into your work, your warehouse, your wherever, because someone that works there is on the list. And guess what? When they enter, they're IDing everybody. Are you ready to go through this papers, please? Yeah, prove yourself. You thought that COVID was bad and all this. Wait till these teams just unannounced show up, because that's what's about to happen. I told you, this is a trap. It's all under the guise of all this migrant crap, which they made, they created. They had to have Biden in there this whole time to create all this. It all works into this ultimate in-game plan. So now their counter of going after all the migrants, it's a national emergency. We're going to war. We're labeling all these dudes terrorists. We can blow them away with the military. Dude, we just brought the war to us. And it's begun today. And people sleeping on it because the action isn't all over the place. Well, you just wait. You just wait till the beheading happens and all this. Then it blew up the Cybertruck, right? Then it did their attack right out the gate on the first, but then it's gone kind of quiet. Wait till this whole thing picks back up now. There's going to be blowback. You don't think these teams are going to go into gang areas and there's not going to be shootouts and all this other stuff? All there's going to be. It's about to get crazy. Illegal migrants have already fled the country. They've got video here of these people crying and then, taking off the other way like they didn't make it in time.
Some migrants are already choosing to leave the country voluntarily. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live from San Antonio, Texas this morning with more on this story. Jorge, how many migrants are we actually seeing doing this, leaving voluntarily?
Right now, Marky, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend, and this comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
Yeah, so... all these people that were smuggled in here, you've got to ask this golden question. Because everyone wanted to say, oh, the Dems, they're bringing in all the migrants, they're just using them for votes. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case. They didn't just use them for votes. The OBS kicks out and back in, and I'm almost done. I'm going to wrap this up here in just a second. Got a handful of other stories I want to touch on here real quick. Illegal aliens that were using this CPB1 app to get into the United States can no longer do it. It's been shut down, so they can't use this app. Now look, on the last stream, I told you how a boat showed up down in Florida, on the coast, broad daylight. People were on the beach and watched this boat roll up. Watched all these Chinese dudes hop out of it, run up the beach, and jump into a vehicle. They got busted and pulled over because so many people witnessed it. We got a different one. An abduction leads to the discovery of a U-Haul filled with Chinese migrants in Florida. See, we got a problem. We got Chinese migrants coming in on boats, landing on the coast, slipping into trucks, riding around packed in U-Hauls. Oh, it's nothing, right? People are stupid. It's about to go down. When these dudes come out blazing, attacking, the lights go out and this and that. Like, they don't have to come out like ISIS and do crazy stuff like that. All they got to do is implement attacking our infrastructure, and we're screwed. You know how many people die within the first few weeks when they do that? They're not stupid. Like, this whole thing is planned out, man. They're here for a reason. And they're camping out right next to our military bases. This is a setup, dude. Not a word of it. Not an executive order. Not a word of it out of Trump's mouth. Out of none of it. Nope. All the attention on these other spots got you blinded. Real threat's China. And your outgoing Christopher Wray has told you that. And they're embedded everywhere. No one else is embedded in everything. Dude, it's game over. So they caught an asylum seeker in Arizona with 30,000 high caliber rifle rounds. You think they're prepared to do something? Yeah, it seems like it. Well, I'm going to finish with this this piece here on disclosure. We have an Air Force veteran in the beginning of disclosure happening. As you can see, soft disclosure in the title. I deal on this. And this isn't what people were thinking, I think, at first. But this is how it begins. This is how it begins. They have now officially told the whole world they have recovered an alien craft, and they've shown you video footage of it. And let me tell you, this is all selectively done the way that they've done it. There's a ton of different objects, different UFOs or UAPs, the discs. There's orbs and balls of light. And thank you, Bay Area, again. There's different things, right? And then your drones. But this was specifically an egg-shaped craft, 20 foot long, that they show you they recover. And because it lacks any detail, because it lacks anything, and it looks like an egg, it's not doing the job of sticking to the minds of the masses or causing any hysteria or doing it because your mind's always been trained on that damn disc. They actually have showed the whole world now a clear as day NHI, non-human intelligence craft, is what they call it. That's the official term. All right? It's happened. The guy that flew the helicopter and all that to pick it up, see, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of what Stephen Greer or whatever was saying was going to be disclosure. These black ops teams. And this dude's eyes are creepy. But this whistleblower is the first in all this. This is the beginning of it. And they're telling people this is it. Like, they're trying to give you the new terminology. They're trying to explain to you the technologies before all this is really rolled out. Because they go beyond this, not in this video, but they've already basically said that they've back-engineered a ton of this stuff to where, you know, they know the technologies. But I'm going to play this clip so you guys know, if you missed the video that I put out, what's going on here in terms of this whole thing. This is the beginning. So, like, disclosure is happening. I call it soft disclosure, the way they're doing it, rolling it out softly, but in bits and pieces. It's not like the president's coming out in front of the whole world, all eyes locked on. And he's like, we're not alone, you know, and says, we've got a threat, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's not happening like that. At least not yet. At this point, they're rolling it out like this. They're saying, look, these things are here. They stopped short of telling you who was flying it. They tell you it's not human. Remember, Gorish went in front of our Congress this past summer, on video, in front of our Congress, and told all of them that we've retrieved the craft and we've retrieved the biologicals out of them. These are the fallen, man.
All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblower to prove it, and credentialed colleagues who back him up. And he has the attention of at least one senior lawmaker. News Nation's Ross Coulthard has been working on this story for more than a year. He conducted the interview for a special report airing right here this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And News
explainable. Others, he says, however, he believes were non-human origin. It's not just him. We've got 3 other military veterans backing up his story on the record and on camera to News Nation. So take a listen quickly to just part of Ross Coulthard's conversation with Barbara.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150-foot to 200-foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine, there was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up, so I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process, over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
So, Elizabeth, Saturday night, 8 p.m.
It was not a unique experience, meaning that this is the beginning. Greer told you that they're going to start coming out, dropping this information just like this guy's doing, left and right, more and more. That not only have they retrieved the craft, but the bodies, the biologicals. They've already set this in front of Congress. Again, it's the masses. Do you spoon feed it? Or do you feed it to them with a slingshot? Like, what is going to make it stick to the brain and see? Or what is their end game goal here? I'm going to tell you that they're dropping the seeds here for the big show and for a huge announcement. That they know this. They know that even dropping these breadcrumbs just like this, that some of us will get it. Some of us with the eyes to see will see it, will pick up on it rather quickly. But the rest of the masses, they're just not going to see this, hear this. It's going to go over their head. It's not going to consume it. And, you can call it all propaganda. Drew says the egg is BS propaganda. I don't know. Everything's propaganda, right? I guess you could say to a degree, but especially when you're pushing a story like this, right? But it doesn't mean that it's fake. It doesn't take away from the fact that they could be very real. But it is being pushed. Ask that. It's again dropping the breadcrumbs, and we've got way bigger announcements coming outside of this. I just want you to know that the egg thing, as I call it, the egg disclosure. it's weak. Again, it's not the disc. It's like formless. It's featureless. So it's almost like a mind f. It's when you see it, it's just like an egg. It's like you explained it. It's like nothing else. But um, it's so much more than what your mind or someone can even begin to understand, until you see full blown like HD. They're showing you one of these things up close and personal. That to me is what I feel like should have happened, but that's not always how this unfolds. Like, this guy had the footage from what they did that night off the Tether, the egg. But after that, he had to wait some time before he said he even got a confirmation through people he knew that worked there, like in the upper ranks, that said that in fact that was NHI that they were dealing with. So it's not like he ever saw a thing again after that night. But he did get a confirmation that it was non-human intelligence. Meaning, it's not like he could have took more video of it. That's when it disappears into the classified files, just like all the rest of the UFO stuff. It's hidden. Now, they're testing this stuff, and there's some badass technology. They're testing it all over. I mean, the drones, I think, is just them like kind of hinting at this tech. It's kind of a hint of especially the anti-thermal. The guy just said you couldn't see the egg in thermal. He just said that's odd because these new drones you can't pick up on thermal. You can't see that it's even there. So it's got the same tech right there. Got the same tech right there. Right there. Who's putting these things together? Okay, so this isn't gonna stop. I don't feel, but we got to get an answer. With these drones, Trump is now in there. With the very next, the 21st tomorrow, we should get some kind of comment. Like the next day or so, there better be some kind of comment on these drones and what's going on with them. He said he would. He's been fully briefed on it. We deserve the answers. Let's see if we get them. Okay, so they're setting the stage for the big show. Is what they're doing. They are. They're setting the stage for the big show. Fear not, my friends. Big show's coming, though. I'm telling you. Yeah, and I'm gonna check the chat here real quick. Give some final thoughts and take us out of here for the night. I don't know, man. I don't know what card they're gonna play next. I feel like we're at this we're entering. We've entered like the window. And this is scary because this is it. Now the countdown begins to the big event. Like we're in it. Like this whole time we knew from way out, before the election even was going on, we knew looking forward that everything, that we were in a crazy window up to just to get to this point, Inauguration Day, for it to all happen, all these different variables, all these different crazy things that could have happened. We made it. But once you've entered it, as I warned, day one, we're in national emergency, and we're there. Here we are. It's where we are tonight. Doesn't feel like it, does it? Nothing dramatic has changed, but boy, oh boy, we've entered a window where the big event's going to happen. Imagine, like, it's 2001, it's summertime, summer's winding down, and guess what? You've entered the window where 9/11's right around the corner. That's where we are. I'm warning you. feel last time they waited till the end of Trump's thing to do whatever they were doing. I feel like it gets to popping rather quickly this time, unfortunately. You've had all the time in the world to do whatever, to get ready, to do whatever. What everybody's done with it has been on them. If you squandered this moment and this time, it's on you. I will not accept an excuse from no one on anything that squandered it, that chose it. That's on you. You have to live with it. I've dedicated my life to warning people, so to hear someone just that they ignored it or chose not to, just ignored it, threw it aside, I don't just never want to see or hear from you again. You didn't care, so why should I at this point? I cared, actually, enough to warn you of all these things, but some people just cared not to even prepare their family. Because if it was just me, my life would be totally different. But when you've got to look out for other people and things like that, it's a different animal. So, I don't know. When a higher power shows me crazy things to come, clearly in visions, well, you can be a fool and ignore it, or you can bust your tail with every waking day that you got to get prepared for it. And that's what I've done. Oh, we're here. We're in the window. So I pray for the best, but I know what's to come. Bad things, rough events are coming. Unfortunately, I've never said it this blatantly. I've never, ever said it this boldly, this blatantly. We're there. I think you can feel it in the air. So, yeah, you attack the economy. You blame it on Trump at this point, all that. They already knew that. Bring the whole thing down. You just blame China. And they're already doing it. Like, it's scary. It's scary how set up this whole thing is. It's just, what? You're just waiting to wake up. And, like, events start snowballing. Like, it's all there. It's all there. Remember, listen. It's something that I can leave you with here tonight. It's this. I've said it before, but some things are worth saying again. Because maybe you didn't hear it. Maybe you didn't write it down. You need a plan. You need a plan for an emergency place for when the cell phones go down. Hear me? When telecommunications go down, because it's going to happen. Do you hear me? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when it does, you can run around like a chicken with your head cut off, like, oh my God, I've talked about this, all this, because you did nothing. Or you can implement a plan. You can at least sleep good at night knowing that you have a plan. And the plan's pretty simple, okay? Make sure you have full tank of gas at all times to get to your emergency location. And when this day happens, when you're at the store, the gas pump, wherever you're at, and this happens, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go to your emergency place. If you don't have one, you better pick one. And if you can't call to make sure someone's there, you just need to talk with your family about this. I said this before Christmas. It was the perfect time around the holidays to talk with friends and family. What if something crazy happens? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? What happens if the phones go down? When that day happens, man, a lot of things can go down. Look, if the internet and telecommunications and phones all go down, there's not going to be no coming over here to check to see what's going on X, search what you ain't going to be able to get on. Do you understand? You're going to be in the absolute dark. Everyone is going to be. And they're going to be watching this. Like in some Hunger Games type stuff. They're going to be watching all of this in real time from satellite and HD. People killing each other in the streets. They're sick. They are. They will. They're going to shut this place down. Look, man. I don't even know what to say. I say all these things that you should do, we need to do, and this and that, but it's like we're out of time. And like, it seems like nobody really cared. Everybody put a false hope in Trump. And again, we have no militias gathered. We have nothing strong to get behind. Like, it's non-existent. And because it's non-existent, we have nothing. Be the change you seek, I guess. Only way that I see this, and dude, what do you think the Chinese are going to do? When this whole thing goes down, I mean, do you think they're just going to sit there and wait, lay in wait? Like, disappear back into the shadows and wait to be hunted down? Like, where's this going to go from there? Do they attack? Or do they just attack in this manner? Flipping switches, shutting everything down? Because again, that is enough to kill Deagle numbers. It's scary, man. Because all this is a possibility now. That's where we're at. These are the cards that are on the table. It's super scary. Christopher Wray thing is ominous. China's and everything, infiltrated everything. Just gonna wake up one morning and I don't know. It'll probably come down to your emergency radios announcing it. If your phones don't work and all this other stuff, maybe your phone, even if the communications are down, now that I think about it, even when we were out in the middle of nowhere and had no service, Amber Alerts were coming through. You couldn't understand it. We were out there near Area 51, when we had no cell signal, none of this, and Amber Alerts, and even severe weather alerts were coming through. And I could tell myself, man, it has to be coming in from satellite, meaning that they can do this to any phone anywhere at any time, even if it doesn't have its AT&T or its T-Mobile service. They can still send this information to your phone, and they do. And I have a funny feeling everybody's phone is going to give off this emergency thing, telling you what they want you to think, telling you whatever. I don't know, man. It's going to be a rough one. I hope we got time. Hope we got at least into the first couple of years of this presidency. Like, I do not want it to be this spring. I do not want it to be this summer. Like, just give us a little bit more time. That's all I'm asking for. I think we all are. You better prepare like never before. If you've hesitated or you've waited, whatever. I dedicate my life to surviving this. Whether I do or not, I don't know. But I'm not afraid to die. That's not it. I'm not afraid to die. I'm more afraid of not putting in the work because someone's watching right now. I am consciously aware that something of a higher power is watching everything right now. And I feel it. Like someone's standing behind you watching you. You turn around and looking at you. I feel it. It's like a sixth sense. I know. A higher intelligence. It's just an outstanding fact. A higher intelligence is observing all of this. And I do not want to fail or disappoint. I lived a whole life blind to it. Not knowing now that I know, now that I feel and I can see, and I know it's there, its presence. It's a different thing. So I wish you luck. I would help those around you the best you can and plan to help good people. Okay? It's one thing to say, oh, a bunch of crazies are coming. You got to turn them all away. But man, when good people are hard to find, they're a remnant. So you've got to know that if good people come along your way, you've got to help. You got to have a plan. Or no one's going to help you. So, be the change you seek again. I wish you guys well. Hopefully nothing happens between now and the next stream. I'm sure plenty will, but hopefully nothing super crazy. And one of these days, it'll be the last one. But until then, I plan to see you here next time. Underground World News Live. Wednesday, hopefully this week. And God bless. Pray to the Messiah to come quick, like it is written, like a thief in the night. And let me just stop right here, because this is how I do it. I will stop everything cold. Oh, okay. Susie Q was owning Kraken Storage. Just wanted to run that mouth at the end here, didn't you? Saying nothing will happen. Acting like everything we talked about isn't nothing. And Eon, much love, thank you, as always. Legendary. Yeah, you can either be a punk, troll, or you can be legendary in life. It's on you. Choose wisely. Kevin. Let me just state that President Trump has just withdrawn us from the World Health Organization, and this exempts the the United States from participating in any pseudo-pandemics, they say.